It's beginning to look that way.
Yeah.
But Trisha's not coming, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
But
I heard. Was notified a little while ago that I'm in trouble with my dog because it's National Squirrel Day and she did not get the opportunity to chase squirrels. So.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's national.
It's National Squirrel Day. Doesn't that mean that the squirrel should get a break for being chased?
Not according to my dog. Okay. There may be other legal issues. Yeah.
You know, I read an article, biology.
Sorry, I'm not.
In Georgia.
I'm not paying attention. Can you show us your mic there?
No. Carol, can you hear us? Out there?
I can hear you.
Oh, good, thank you.
Mhm.
All righty, let's call this meeting to order at 6:06 on January 21st, 2024. Let's have a roll call, please.
Ryan Sanders is here.
Donna Kresge here. Vic Monica here. And an invocation all together. This is our school. May the peace dwell here. May the rooms be full of contentment. May love abide here. Love of one another, love of our school, and love of life itself.
Let us remember that as many hands build a house, so many hearts build a school.
Thank you. Do you have any agenda modifications? I don't.
Yes, so we did add the required language of a formal complaint for the closed session. As significant exposure to litigation, which is what
Okay.
allows you to
Okay.
speak privately.
Okay.
So
Thank you
that
for,
is an adjustment that we made,
all right,
just adding language that was needed.
good. Thank you for doing that. And do we have any audience to address the council? It's just us.
Us and Cheryl, that's it.
And Lauren,
Us-
And Sarah,
Sarah,
Okay, so the.
let's see if anybody is joining.
Okay.
all righty, and the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
I'd say.
And questions or comments? And we shall vote.
Ryan, hi.
Donna, aye.
Vicky, aye. And item number 3. Cheryl, Grant, and Sarah Lee, you guys are up. They're muted though.
Oh, hi.
No, there.
If Sarah wants to present, that's fine, or
Okay,
do I
I
just
was,
share my screen?
yeah, I was just
Go
let
ahead.
in, so I don't have any of that ready to go. So
Oh,
I did.
Can you turn that up?
okay.
Did they just both say they had nothing to share today?
No, she has, Cheryl
Cheryl. Oh,
has the,
I do.
Sarah doesn't have
There it is.
technology.
Sarah,
Cheryl has it.
Sarah just
Great.
got on, and I here. Can you see this? Did I share my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. First Charter Council meeting of 2025 from the teachers. You might know it is report card time, so I think a lot of folks are busy entering grades and checking workbooks and main lesson books. And kindergarten land, we're doing assessing by observing. And that's, oh, I meant to delete the ones that didn't add. I'm so sorry, it'll be messy. But this is Maple Rose, and we're doing a fun King Winter Circle with gnomes and lots of movement. And then there is a story time, a story from the Chippewa Nation about a brave little duck who needs to overcome the bully of the north wind, his icy grasp, or its icy grasp. And this is the first month that all of the TK students and kindergarten students sat down together and did handwork. It's a major milestone. And we also did a full length circle, like the kind I used to do in kindergarten days. So it shows me their attendance is, they're able to attend a little more. Here's grade 1. There's Sarah and the class. First grade is having a great January. We are so happy to be together again after a long winter break. Every day we are reading and practicing our amazing math skills. Our latest painting included galaxy skies. Then we drew the cutest polar bears to accompany the twinkling stars. We absolutely love handwork with Miss Claire and games with Miss Amy. And the second graders were asked to finish the sentence, I am a shining star because. And this student wrote, I am caring for my friends.
Aw.
Yeah. That's Miss Brittany. And then here's Mr. Meyer. Before the break, we celebrated Hanukkah in our class. The students loved learning the rich history of the holiday and playing dreidel. We particularly enjoyed getting to play with our 7th grade buddies. Since we came back, we've been learning about money, a topic the students are very interested in. Okay.
I thought those guys looked
Oops. Sorry. This is grade 4. Right now, Miss Angela is taking care of the class. Angela Evans. We have started the amazing book, The Island of the Blue Dolphins, and along with that, we are studying California geography. So there's some of their artwork. And in Mrs. McDonald's grade 5 class, they're having some fun with onomatopoeia. Pretty cute. This is their artwork on the hall. Grade 6 is being held by Ms. Becca right now, Guerrero. And they are just starting their astronomy block. And I'm sure Susan will speak to this soon, that I believe Miss Emma Todd is coming soon, and we'll work together with Miss Becca for a little while. And here's Sarah's class, grade 7, exploring how our bodies work and using new art techniques for their winter pictures. And, grade 8 with Mrs. Madera. Just finished an organic chemistry block where the 8th graders learned about chemistry through the hands-on creation of lotions, lip balms, salves, which I think they sold those things at the Walk into Winter Fair. Also oobleck, bread, tapioca, cheese, and brittle. And we took a deep dive into the different types of sugar and what happens inside of our bodies when we consume it. 8th graders love food and talking, so this was an exciting block full of snacks and interesting conversation. And then in games, in the upper grades, students have been learning and practicing the fundamentals of football. It's been great to see the students become more confident and have fun with a sport that I am very passionate about, says Mr. Meyer. And in the lower grades, we have had fun with concentration games and winter-themed games. A favorite was a collaborative snowball fight in which students worked together to knock down bowling pins as quickly as possible. They then worked to beat their previous times. Here's from Miss Claire and lower grades handwork. At the beginning of the year, I attended an arts and SEL workshop through BCOE, where participants were given access to lesson plans that merge those two subjects. I chose to work with 3rd grade to create mixed media self-portraits that encourage positive self-talk. These are 2 examples from students who are often reluctant to participate in class and who sometimes struggle with self-worth. I think they turned out beautifully. I agree. And here is Miss Sarah Eblin's handwork class in the middle school. She says, look at all these happy, hardworking students. Favorite projects right now are block printing, papier mâché, made up creatures, and mixed media album cover design. They're working diligently to finish before the semester ends on Friday. The class has never been so quiet. And then here is a twinkly slide from Miss Emily, who put on a lovely winter concert. And she said it was a great success. And she wants to thank all of these folks, the teachers, the parent council, admins, and most importantly, the students for all the work they've put into this concert. It was very nice. And I think that is all. Thank you. So I can stop sharing?
Thank you so much, Cheryl. That was very enjoyable.
Good, you're welcome.
Bye. Bye.
Oh,
I always like that part. And item 4.1,
Okay,
school enrollment.
okay, I made up a report for this. Where is it?
My sign was all messed up.
There it is. A little one, not very big. So trying to look back at what you've been asking for. This is our current enrollment as of 12/20/24. We have 4 more students than that today, so that's nice.
Hooray.
So I broke it down the way that the state breaks it down, so it's really easy for me to transfer from that to this. And the state gives us numbers based on the funding, so there's different levels of funding, 3 different for our school. So TK through 3rd is one level, 4th through 6th is another, and 7th and 8th is a third. So that's why I just went ahead, rather than recalculating it, pulled it and put it in here. So those are our current numbers. We, at full enrollment, for example, we would have 60 in 7th and 8th grade. We would have 4th through 6th would have 90, so you can see where we're lower. I don't know the actual number for TK through 3rd because it's would be, let me think, 120 if we had a full kindergarten program. So 120, I think that's right, something like that. So as you can see, our numbers in 7th and 8th grade are not too bad. But our lower grades, we are struggling with getting those filled.
But people are hearing about the new school and they're interested.
So
So
I have had a couple, our tours have been really full for next year. People who live over where the school's gonna be are starting to come here, which is good. So
that's really great. Good. All right.
where we are right now.
Thank you.
It seems like the predictable drop-off periods are 1st grade, right? Some people just come for kindergarten.
Some people just come from
And then
kindergarten, right?
7th grade, some people just come from.
Well, or
primary.
actually between 5th and 6th, because
6th is.
because the traditional schools are 6th through 8th.
That's right.
That's when they often move.
Um,
Our current 7th grade class has just been booked for years. So, which is unusual,
Yeah.
but I'm happy. Yeah, so.
but I wonder, you guys remember why we asked for these numbers?
So we were, budget
trying to
is
do-
based on enrollments and budget is always an issue. And so we were concerned because there were students leaving. just wanting to see the attrition rate between number of students leaving versus number of students coming in. And it originally started around discipline in the middle school.
Yeah.
And some thoughts that there were lots of kids leaving from middle school because of some discipline issues that were going on. But it sounds like that's resolved if seventh grade is full.
Yeah. Well, it is the movement forward of the students and the situations around
Yeah.
COVID. So this seventh grade class has always been strong. There was never like a big loss of students. It's
Mhm.
just always, there's been some turnover, but pretty strong.
Mhm.
The eighth grade classes had some problems, but it's really tightened down since the fall. And so even though it's eighth grade still shows as our worst class as far as behavior, but there's just been so much of a change in the class
Mhm.
that, yeah, they're still eighth graders. But
Well,
not
that's
the
what I
kind of
was
stuff we
thinking.
were dealing with before.
If
So-
you look at any school with eighth grade, they're likely to show as
They
the
get a little snarky.
obnoxious.
They do.
Yeah,
But I wonder if is the intent that we're gonna like ongoing track this?
well, that's what my understanding is,
Okay.
if that's what you want, of course, I don't have to do it if you don't want
Yeah.
to. But there is like, for example, just to be aware of it, like in April 15th is our last day of enrolling new students, so often, someone of you said, well, we always lose students at the end of the year, and I was like, that didn't make sense to me, and then I realized, no, we still lose about the same amount of students, but we don't enroll anymore, and that's because of testing. None of the schools really enroll after April 15th, but charters don't get any additional ADA after April 15th, so harder on testing, crazy time of year, and we don't get any
Money.
more,
Yeah.
we don't get
Yeah.
more funding, so we very seldom on an exception basis, like it's a homeless child or somebody who's coming into the community who's already in the Waldorf community, those sorts of things we do. But overall, we close, the regular enrollment. So then we see people, as a few people leave, then we see some decline. It
Right.
took me a minute to figure that out. But the other thing about enrollment is the California Community Schools Advisory Committee, which is also joined to CEI, has moved their program of practice to work on enrollment and retention. So all of their discussions now around what we need to do as a school.
Mhm.
So it's getting some really good attention from the community now on that issue. So I'm pleased with that.
I wonder if we want to answer the question, or if we want to continue to track the question of, do we have outsized drop off in junior high? These numbers right now include junior high in both
Mm-hmm,
4th through 6th and 7th through 8th.
mm-hmm.
So it makes that one question a little hard to
Yeah,
answer.
so
Right.
And
possibly pulling that, and I'm
kind of
afraid
did
to
up
put it
to
in my
kinder to primary, like
Yeah.
we know there's a drop off there, and so I wonder if kinder drags primary results in one way. or the
Yes, it
other.
does. I mean, there's no
So
doubt.
maybe those are the three
Yeah,
things.
so when a first grade class is small,
Yeah,
then that's likely to continue throughout the 8 years of the school.
Yeah.
So we always try to get a nice full first grade, which we haven't been doing for the last couple of years. So that's why we focus on kindergarten nights and things like that to really promote our kindergarten a little more and work
Yeah.
with the preschools in the area. So yeah, I can break down the 6th, 7th, and 8th.
it
Oh,
just
yeah.
seems like if that is the question, care to track.
TK, and
Put
if that's
junior
what you
high,
want,
primary, I
and
think.
first, TK and first, is that T
I think it's TK and K,
and K, and then
first
first?
through 5th, 6th through 8th. And then we can at least see that we know the drop off points exist between those things.
Yeah, those are the biggest
See it
ones. yeah.
cascade, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, thank you.
Okay,
Good thinking. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Susan.
yep,
Alrighty, moving on. Item 5, governance. Item 5.1 is the SARC
all right, we,
state.
School accountability report card.
yes, that's it, and it's
School.
due to the state, has to be posted by February 1st, so it was one of those, Maggie, they were meeting and went, I forget this. So does not take a lot of work, because most of the work actually pulls out of CalPADS and our data reporting. Good, so. There you go, is the first page. That's where all the information comes from. Contact information has not changed in a few years.
Hmm.
District, we are on district, so it's there here, that's our mission statement and that sort of, so we've left that for a number of years. Description is pretty close, we these are our numbers, 232 for last year, that's the number that's pulled in the first week in October. We are questioning, and I've asked, we will look at it more closely next year, for some reason, our transitional kindergarten numbers are floated into kindergarten, so it may be because of the way our class structure is, I don't know, so we're Kelly, Mackie and I will work on that for next year, but that's basically the only issue I've got with that. This is our student role, our enrollment groups. Again, those are male, female, and non-binary are also counted in Asian, Black, Filipino, Hispanic, and other areas, so. And students with disabilities are another one, and social economic and homeless and foster youth and English learners can be in race, are also there in the races somewhere.
Right.
Races, and so it's the numbers here will not add up to the numbers that you've seen before. Don't know why there's a big blank page there. This is mostly, again, this is all pulled from state information. It is not anything I adjust or put. It used to be,
All right.
but it's not anymore. Same here, same there. Our conditions are good. There's things like the stains on the tiles or any leaks, those sorts of things have shown up in this older building, so that it does downgrade us, but we're still good. Those are our test scores. 23, 24. And we will be the 23, 24 scores will be public probably by your next meeting, so we'll be able to cover that. Did not change much of this at all this year.
Susan,
Yeah,
just wondering I know there's just Sarah and me, and then Lauren is here. I was wondering if you could put this SARC on the Zoom. I have the document, but it's not on the screen, and I also can't type in the comments. It says Maggie is not here.
yeah. We do not use the comments during the public meetings.
Oh, okay.
Carol,
So then,
because it
no
ends up
worries.
with those side conversations, so we stop
see.
that.
Okay.
You certainly can ask any
just-
questions.
Sure. I just wondered if it's possible for others to see the that document. I have it in my email, so it's okay for me.
Oh,
but
Lord, can't see it.
So, yeah,
it's not a.
It should.
okay, it should be, I'm sharing my screen, so let me. Can you see it
Okay.
now?
There it is. Yes, it's there now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maybe I just need to click on it a second time.
So we did rate in our tests 97% last year, which is the goal is at least 95, so that's really important. So we have a group that does honor taking the tests. This is the physical fitness testing for 5th and 7th grades only. This is our explanation of opportunities for parent involvement, which hasn't changed much. Because it's about the opportunities, not the actual parent involvement. There are chronic attendance, and again, this is one of our concerning areas. Chronic absenteeism was at 31% last year. We are hoping to do better, but it's one of those things that as the year goes on, it can build. But we are down from 40%, I think, the year before. So, and everybody has struggled with attendance since COVID. We had a discussion with the DA and took it to teachers about, there's just a change in attitude of families about attending school. And so it's a little harder to motivate. So how to do that, engagement of students and so on. And then suspensions and expulsions are the other area that we're being asked to work on. As you can see, our male rates of suspension are and expulsion are significantly higher than our female, which may indicate what we focus on, as well as what tends to happen. Hispanic or Latino is the other area, and students with disabilities the third. We're doing significantly better with students with disabilities, which I'm very pleased. And so we're falling out of that area as being something we need to focus on, but we are still higher than I would anticipate in Hispanic. So we need to continue to look at that. School safety plan, not much information. You'll see a new one in the next couple of months. And we are focusing, we're ready to go. And then after Palermo decided we needed to back off and review some things to make sure that we had taken those concerns into consideration in our plans. I don't know why we're showing 2 classes. And another question. No, in 6th grade, that's like another CalPADS questions. And again, these are things I can't change at this point, but we'll go back and review it. These are our supports. That's it. There's other pages on other ones that are about high school, so those are not ones, of course, that we address.
Ready? Comments? Questions? Do we need to ask for a vote
Yes, you do.
to accept the SARC as is?
I move that we accept the SARC for the 23-24 school year.
I'll second that.
Okay.
And comments, questions? Let's vote.
Ryan,
Donna, I. Vicky, I. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Item 5.2, director evaluation, that's me. Do you guys remember last time? What we talked about? We had.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sure everybody was here. Sure, but
I think a lot of people were, yeah, Laurel wasn't here either.
Laura wasn't here.
And this is not really a thing I want to share publicly, do I?
I don't
The
know.
evaluation.
Well, you don't, not my personal evaluation, but if you need to discuss changes to the document and process of the director's evaluation, but not,
Okay.
My
the
actual evaluation.
goals, okay. Well, we've got,
and then we talked about, you talked about my goals in closed session and voted on that, and you were gonna
right,
present those, but I don't know where you are on that.
okay. Well, I'm ready to present.
Okay.
But, can we switch that to the closed session?
Yes, I guess. No, we can't.
We can't,
We
that's
can't
not
put
an
something in
agenda.
closed session. It's
Okay.
Already.
All right,
There.
questions, comments about this process? It's
I
being very.
missed all of it, so you.
It's all of it. We went through, basically Susan's contract.
Okay,
That contract told us how the evaluation is supposed to be run. It's a job we do together. We decide, Susan and the board decide what her goals are, and then if they're met,
okay.
all of us. It's not a couple of us taking care of all this information and then trying to share it. It's more gonna be. So the goal, we focused 4 goals primarily on community. And then we voted on, and they're good, and we're gonna,
But you don't have those for us today.
I do have those, but I don't want to read them out loud here. Right?
No, you can
The
read them
goals are
out,
public.
they're
Yeah.
goals, they're public, you
Okay.
can read them out loud.
Oh, it's not
It's fine,
the,
it's not, I
it's
mean,
not
Cause we
the
haven't used them
evaluation.
to evaluate.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I'm
right,
sorry.
so yeah, you can read
Guys,
them,
I'm
you
really
approve them in closed session, or you
Okay.
discussed and decided what they're gonna be in closed session, and we agreed that you would present them today, so everybody
Okay.
knows what the goals are.
What the goals are.
Yeah,
That's good.
By May 2025. Develop and implement a continuous improvement process to address student behavior patterns identified in the educator's handbook. This will include analyzing behavior incident data quarterly to identify trends and root causes, establishing a behavior intervention team by January 2025 to create targeted strategies and supports, providing professional development for staff on behavior management strategies with at least 80% of staff participation by March 2025. Measuring progress through a 20% reduction in repeat behavior incidents compared to the 2024 baseline. Those are the 4. I guess those are subheadings of the goal. But so we're going to look at that in May.
Is there a document that you have that you could share?
No, it's
You don't have this written down anywhere?
no, it's an email.
Okay.
so you'll forward that to Maggie, so she,
You need to forward that because I have to have that in the minutes and I.
Yeah. that's a lot for her to
That's a
type.
lot for me to
Okay.
type right now.
Okay.
To keep up with, and I wanna make sure I get it right.
And so were those the 4 goals or that?
So that was
That was the 4 goals. Do you want to hear them again?
No.
I can tell you again.
No, I'll just look at the document that you were about to send. But, so that was kind of one,
No,
then a
there's-
goal
there's-
with 4
there's-
supporting things.
Yeah, there's one goal with 4 steps or actions
my
that
actions.
belong to that goal.
Okay.
I
Cool.
thought we had one other.
I thought we had one other one, and I'm not remembering it. I have to go back and listen to the tape. No, we didn't tape it because we're in closed session.
Right.
Thought we had one other thing.
Was it about communication?
Mhm.
It's,
Good.
Tricia may know because she ran some of it through
AI.
ChatGPT,
Mhm.
yeah, or one of the AI tools.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can establish this one and then we can revisit it next month if when Tricia's here, if she
That's right.
has some more notes.
But the
But I'm
other
not
thing
sure what
is,
the other one is.
given how late we are writing these goals, one
Mhm.
goal with 4 action steps may be entirely appropriate, especially since the first action step is supposed to be done in January.
We actually already have a team, so I'm okay.
So, okay,
Fine for you to tell me you need a team, but I've already had her. You want,
Okay.
that's okay.
nice.
I will
just
have
don't
met
wanna-
that, I met that goal already.
Yeah,
All right.
the thing about goals is you set people up for success,
Yeah.
not.
Right. Right, so we're gonna look at these again in May and
In May?
in
Or
May.
I
Well,
thought
then-
we're gonna talk about
25.
them next month to
We
see.
will, we'll
Let's
see
put
what
it-
Tricia
yeah,
has to
back
say
on the
and
agenda, see if there was another
Right.
goal. I feel like there were 2. The other one was like one liner and then this one was the big one, so.
Mhm.
that's why I thought there was another one too, but I don't remember.
So
Alrighty. So
this is a good move forward, guys. I really.
this is a good, it's,
So are we aiming to have completed, like, complete an outline of the goals for next meeting? Is that what you're saying we're gonna have for next meeting?
We have this
Need to
one
type
goal.
something.
did you receive the email from, I just forwarded?
Yeah,
I don't know.
okay.
Okay.
So the goal that Vicky has just read and has been forwarded to you in an email is a goal that has been established for me for the remainder of this year through July 1st. There's a second goal we both believe. Yeah,
All
that
3 of us.
we're not
Remember.
don't have a document for, so that will come up again. And I can also report it at, more specifics on where I am on this one.
Okay.
For the next time.
Right, and so we're gonna look at this in February and
Mhm.
present it again and vote on it then with Tricia and we're all present.
We don't have to vote
Oh,
on
we
it,
don't
because you
have to
already
vote.
voted on it, you just remember we said we'll just present it this time.
Yes.
So there you go. Good. Moving on. Financial committee report. You ready,
Oh,
Ryan?
finance, yep.
Finance.
Yeah. It was a pretty quick meeting, but the average enrollment at the time we met, the average enrollment was 220. Versus budgeted 224, so a little under there. Average ADA 203, budgeted 212. So we are a little under our budgets for both of those things. Let's see, right now, we're actually forecasting a surplus, so we've kind of like come out of that big deficit that we had been forecasting. Now we're in a little bit of a $31,000 surplus. However, I think, so it's, we spoke about how our Amanda Hurd has left and that is actually creating the surplus, is that we're not paying for that position. So we have an open job listing, and once we fill the position, we'll likely go back
So
into
that's
somewhat of a
really
deficit.
Imaginary money.
We
Kind
don't
of.
have a surplus.
Right.
But it's still not a very large deficit, and we have quite a lot of the IRS is starting to pay us our money from 5 years ago now. We'll continue to pay that for the next year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah,
something like that.
probably.
So we have kind of a one-time funding source that's gonna help us through this time period. And again, we're really looking at the new sites to alleviate budget problems long-term. Because it'll be mostly funded, we say. Let's see. Other than that, we continue to talk, Susan is working with our accounting firm to pull together this concept of cost centers. And so we can start to talk more intelligently about these things that both bring in money as well as put out, have expenditures as well.
Uh-huh.
Food program is like the classic, easy to understand one. It both makes us money and we spend money to run it.
Uh-huh.
But the thing that is hard when you just look at the whole school budget is like, did the food program make or lose money? It's hard to tell.
Right,
So Susan is starting to cluster these programs
Alright.
in her reporting so she can answer those types of questions. And so that's cost center reporting and not ready to really share yet, but it is making progress.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Very nice. Item 5.4, parent council report, Susan.
Well, my big report is that the parent council made the decision to establish liaisons from their committee, rather, we don't have one from here to go to them, so they're saying, we're gonna be here, so Lauren Seska is here today
Oh.
as the liaison for the parent council, so she can report back to the parent council what we're doing, what you're doing. And the parent council was great and wonderful and flexible with the change of the winter festival or winter concert. And I just so appreciate that they came back and did it again and did a beautiful job. And the winter concert was a great job. We are working now on just planning for the future and the next
Lauren
things.
says she's not on the parent council.
Oh, it's the wrong Lauren then. I'm sorry, I thought it was. Okay, never mind. They have appointed one that I guess they're not there. Sorry, Lauren. So they, where was I? Working on the Oaken Lands, thinking about that, thinking about Mayfair.
Oh, yeah.
I've asked the co-chairs, one of the co-chairs to come to the next meeting so we can plan out the dates. I'm so excited about this. I'm going to talk about it a lot. Plan out the dates for the next 2 years. So we
nice.
know next month when Harvest Festival is going to be next year and the year following. So those things that have just kind of been they bubble up, and then we try to figure it out. And the parent council, of course, doesn't come together until September.
Mhm.
So, you know, and then there's some new people on it, so they're always figuring out what the next thing to do. So I think it'll be really helpful for the community that will just have the dates on the calendar already, and won't be discussing it in the fall. Yeah, so that's fundraisers they're working on and starting to make plans for Mayfair and all of that
Great
that they do.
that they do so well.
Mhm.
Thank you, parent council. Item 5.5, facilities committee report, Tricia.
Well, the facilities committee has not met since your last meeting, so we meet again on the 28th. And this is in my report also. The architect has been here 3 times to look at the building and talk to the staff and so on. So that is all still progressing.
Tricia is moving forward with the prop 2
Yes, she's
And-
also doing that.
and other. I think at least the prop 2, I'm not sure if there's another funding source. That
Well,
she's
the other
working
one is that measure C,
Okay,
that's low.
yeah, that's
So, yeah.
all right. Thank you. And item 5.6, community school partnership, Karen. We will ask Karen to share next month.
Did she get a report to you?
No, she
She's a written
didn't.
report.
Let's see. Okay.
Should we come back to that?
That's not bad.
All right.
Evans. My settings are all messed up tonight. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all right, we can be patient. Or we can postpone it to next month when she's here. It's all right.
All right, well, I can't share it, but we can talk about it.
Yeah, so she's been doing a lot of work with
Sorry.
behavior support, especially for the middle school kids. She does a lot of pulling them and talking to them and getting them to think, and which is a part of her work as a wellness coach. And also, but it's becoming more. It took quite a bit of her time this last 3 weeks that she was here. The ELOP, she's taking that over. I've also talked about that in my report. So she will be getting additional time, which is part of the, so the budget will increase. Take maybe one of those months that, that Amanda will not be using. So it's still definitely within our budget. We will not have somebody here to cover Amanda in the month of January. So, we know that we have that level of flexibility. She is working, we're getting close to the time where we need to do a formal review of the LCAP and decide how we've done. And I've asked her to take on the professional development plan portion. This item in the LCAP has been floating around for years and we never quite get to making it a plan. Karen has a talent for really collecting data and getting things done about surveys and so forth. So I appreciate her work on that. And then we were looking at the implementation grant due in a few weeks, so we're working with it on that. And then the other thing on there is the advisory that I already talked about. We're doing going down to, well, supposed to go down to Ontario. So we're all wondering how that's going to go with everything going on in Southern California. But for our next step in CEI and to take our fishbone diagram about enrollment and retention of students and work further on that. We have included the 7 core principles for Waldorf, because another piece of our LCAP is to be fully ready to certify on that in the next few years. So that's another piece, and it's actually fitting really well into some of the other pieces and making sure that we're bringing through our Waldorf intentions into all of our planning. So we're talking about that. I think that's it. Yeah.
Okey doke.
Okay.
Thank you. And Susan on attendance and behavior.
Yeah. So this is me getting nerdy.
Nerdy.
No, I
Okay.
just had too much fun.
Uh-huh.
So the first part is the annual comparison. So I took last year's monthly and compared it to this year's. I did not have easily accessible to me the school days per don't roll down so far yet. You roll back just a little bit. There you go. For last year, I just pulled the dates off of this year. So as you can see, where our overall numbers are down. We are at 989 by the end of December in 23. We're at 912 by the end of December 24, I've combined both office and minor referrals because minors lead to office referrals. And so want to make sure we're considering both of them when we look at these numbers with you. And you can see for this year, October was,
Wow.
a really tough month, but overall our months are close to or lower than last year's. So we're doing all right. From that, we'll see how January goes.
Huh.
Last week was really busy. And both Kelly Chandler and I are hoping that that means that it was just because it was the second week in January and it won't, continue up, but we'll see. Anyway, okay, roll it down a little bit, if you would. So our behavior team, which is Ashley Angel, our counselor, Joe Firm, one of our SPED teachers, Kelly Chandler, who does attendance and behavior for the lower grades, and then Karen and myself. Karen does a lot, as I said, a lot for the upper grades. So that's our team that meets every Tuesday. The other things that we're looking on and talking about is our major primary minor referrals are about classroom disruptions, and the primary location is in the classroom. So I talked at our last faculty meeting about that issue, and to be thinking about how we can address this classroom disruptions. The next one is other, which I haven't analyzed yet, and the third one is well, I forget what the third one is, so I won't go there. Then the office referrals are primarily physical aggression, which is not surprising. And then the classroom and play yard are equally divided on the two largest areas that those come into. And then the grade level comparisons, again, you'd asked for something around this before, so this is what I figured out, and then if it's something you want slightly different, that's fine. So what the behavior team did this last time is we're able to pull rosters by the number of referrals, minor or major, that what we have. And so we agreed to pull anyone with 6 or more, because I took a look at it and said the students we are primarily watching and working with are in that. So we went there. We may change that as the year goes on, because of course it progresses. But right now we're looking at people with 12 or more, kids with 12 or more. So we have about 41 students in that category. And I pulled out the number of referrals for just those top students. And as you can see, those are the major amount of the 912 that we have now.
41 students account for the majority of.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's actually, I could tighten it down to probably the top 10. But these are the numbers that the behavior team is looking at, because those are all the ones that pop up the most commonly for us as far as behavior. They're all fitting in that category. So that's why we're watching that. Still working on understanding educator's handbook. I touched the wrong button and deleted 5th grade's roster last week. So Kelly Mackey's fixed it for me. I appreciate that. But I am just, there's a lot that it can do that we aren't really using yet. So things like we can change the calendar days, or look at a specific student or class. And so there's a lot we can do with the data we have that we're not really using yet. So keep working on that this year as well. And then, one of the teachers asked, is there a way we can do positive, like the Blue Oak leaves, and track them? Because right now, last year's are in a big box. like this behind Amanda's desk, and they've never been counted because there's just no way. And plus, we only get them when the children turn them in for an reward, and a lot of the kids, they don't want to turn them in, so they keep them. And so we never know if they've been given them or not. So the Educator's Handbook has another option, cost about $300, but it is called merits. And so we can also have the same system for whenever you give out a blue oak leaf or something else positive. So we're excited, we're in the process of getting that installed, but so that gives us so right now, in those numbers, there are some blue oak leaves that were given out and just haven't been assessed out. Not a whole bunch though, because we just sampled it. But so hopefully by next time we'll be able to have the merits also, so you'll be able to see the positive referrals that are given out, so as well, and to build on that.
Good one.
Okay, and then the last little note down there are the pull out level 2 and level 3 offerings that we have. The main one for level 2 is Ashley, who does friendship groups and groups around anxiety or other things to help kids to talk those things out and give them skills. And then our special education teacher, as part of her process, our speech therapist, as part of her process, because children who struggle with speech also struggle with relationships because people can't understand them or they can't hear. And so she is doing groups, a couple of pairings with those children to help them build that, which is being successful. And the last one is a self-management. It's really tier 3. It's for some of our special ed students that struggle with behavior and self-management. So she pulls them out 2 days a week to work with them on social skills, basically at a more intense level, because those are students with the biggest referral. And it's also the area when we go back to suspensions that we are most likely to suspend special education students here. So it seems to be being really successful in reducing the amount of times kids are getting in trouble. So that it's not going to necessarily reduce our suspension rate, our formal one in the dashboard, because they've already been suspended once, so they're counted. But as far as the management of the classroom and of their behavior, it is improving that. So we're excited. So that's
Nice.
that's where we are on that goal that you just set.
All right,
Yeah.
good. Thank
Okay,
you.
You're welcome.
Good report.
And then I also have a short report on attendance, I think. Did I give you one on attendance?
Oh, I don't know.
Did I?
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe
I
not.
got enrollment, I remember gathering that behavior, but I didn't see.
I don't think you did
I
get.
got your director's report then.
Okay, you can put up my director's report. Good. So again, I sat down with Kelly Chandler today about attendance, because she's, and so we're following all the processes that we need to as far as tardies and truancy and so on. And then we're going through students that at this point may just need a phone call to remind them to come back to school in January. So there's about 4 families in that group that I'm just trying to encourage to get back to school. They've done well before, they're slipping, we need to get them back to school. So chronic attendance for this school is not going away, but it is getting a lot more attention than it has in the past. So it's good.
Very good. Thank you. And on to item 6.
So happy New Year.
Yeah.
The first one are some of our, on Fridays, we put out emails, saying share your favorite moments. So can you roll it up a little bit? A 5th grade student, a former kindergartner, came into the I love this, came in the kindergarten to deliver something from Mrs. McDonald. He gazed around the room and sighed and said, I know life is pretty simple now, but this was the simplest one. He found his symbol, sat in what used to be his tiny chair, and reminisced a bit about kindergarten days.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah. My favorite moment was, of the week was reclassifying an EL student to fluent English proficiency, so
excellent.
that's exciting. A student came up to me in the hall and offered me glitter. We giggled as I gave my look a little splash of color. And then I have a new student start this week. This is a middle schooler. They told me, I just started this week, but it feels like I've been here for longer, but in a good way.
Oh, that's so nice. Good deal.
Yeah, so. And we had the winter concert, which, thank you, Ryan, for your work on it. But overall was just really positive and relaxing even. I think we had less, it was mainly choir and violin, so it was simpler. And of course, you get every class up there singing their song, which is just fun. Our healthy play guy Spencer lives in New Mexico and could not come on the 6th. Called me Friday night, Sunday night, and said, "You don't feel good. I spent too much time with grandkids." And they were sick, and so he ended up with it. So he did not come, but we Zoomed for about 2.5 hours in the afternoon with faculty. So we got some work there. And then he's coming back in April personally to work with students and teachers. So I feel like we're getting even a better deal than we would have if he'd shown up. So I'm excited to see him working directly with students. And then we continue to work with differentiated assistants on the suspensions and attendance, chronic attendance. So they're real good at bringing us again. I'm getting my data genes worked. So they really come and talk to us about how our data looks and what we're doing. And again, they brought the information about attendance and how important it is, how much a part of the teacher's world it is, because the teachers are the ones that have those daily relationships. And I understand it. My relationship with him is mostly, hey, where are you? You need to come to school. That's the teacher has a much deeper and better relationship with kids. And one of the teachers, when I was talking, said, I never even thought about talking to families about attendance. She just thought somebody else did that. And she's like, yeah, I can do that. I can help. So doing that work. And then BCOE also has a project Elevate, which is about the climate of the school, which is what is reflected in attendance and behavior. So we're going to start working with them also in that area. I'm really appreciating their work because it takes us out of our own bowl. We start seeing ourselves less as a fishbowl and more as part of what everybody is dealing with. As I mentioned earlier, the architect's been out. And then my projects, getting familiar with Educator Handbook is a big part. I'm loving it though. So continuing to dig for behavior and how we can use it. I have reinstated the director's portion of the Acorn. So I'm writing a paragraph or 2 or 3 about things that are going on here. So I started that again, and that feels good. I don't know if anybody's reading it, but at least I'm putting it out there. So hopefully they'll start reading it. As Cheryl mentioned, we have a new teacher hired for 6th grade. She is working now. She and Kari went down to Sacramento to observe Waldorf classrooms in Sacramento last week. She is going through some of the training for 6th grade, the summer training we do. There's some online, so she's able to do that. And she's been engaged with our community for at least 5 years. I think she was a counselor for a while for us. She's done some restorative practices training with some of the staff. Her mother was a 20-year educator in Waldorf, and she went through K through high school in a Waldorf school. So Kari, who knows Waldorf very well, says she understands it so much better you know, because it's just part of her life. All her
Right.
sisters, everybody went through Waldorf, and her mom was a Waldorf teacher. So when you hear her talk about Waldorf, it's an entirely different level of understanding. So we're excited for her to come on and be part of
Great.
our community, and that, you know, one of the desires of the class parents was we had someone that's strong in Waldorf. So I'm hoping that will meet their needs. And then Karen and I have been working on her, you know, I've been working with Karen on the things that she needs to be taking over and what the expectations are there. Yeah. I'm going it down because I've already said those other great things. So, new president on Monday, and who wrote a lot of things, said he was going to do a lot of things. So I met with the Leading Now cohort that I work with, which is superintendents from all over the country. And so some of the things that were said at that meeting by the experts there is don't change anything, don't react to anything yet, that don't try to implement. I like the way they said that. Don't try to comply with something you don't understand. So even though, you know, he might say, this is going to change, make sure you wait until they tell you what it is you need to do.
Mhm.
So no changes anytime soon from the inauguration and executive orders yesterday. The executive order is just telling his people what he wants them to do. It's not, and then they're the ones responsible for making sure they can do it and telling us. So it's going to be a while down the road before there are any changes. There are concerns about a push for vouchers possibly and how that might affect the public sector. So there are things like that that may be coming up
Yeah,
that I will
there's,
inform you about. I won't tell you what to do, but I'll inform you.
There's schools with grants that are, or universities with grants that have already been told that a 5-year funding is not gonna get the 5th year. So some of that's
Yeah.
coming through.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it will, we don't
Yeah,
get a
but
lot.
what you're saying
we get
is
about-
exactly right.
yeah,
Wait and see.
We get about 60,000 in funding from the
Yeah.
feds right now. So again, don't want to lose it, but also not sure what's going to happen with it. But on the good side, the change in who runs the IRS may push our ERC funding, what we were talking about, faster, because the last guy was slowing it down and stopping it, and this guy says he believes in it, we need to do it. So at least the language that I'm being told means that we may, over the next 2 years, get it
What
faster.
does ERC stand for? Okay,
So economic recovery.
Recovery something, yeah.
See,
COVID?
cash.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
essentially, COVID money for
It's
COVID,
money for COVID.
unemployment.
Okay,
because we kept people employed,
okay.
they're gonna give
okay.
us money. Because-
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually, they promised us money, anyway. But that was good for me, because I feel like, well, no, it's not the European research. I love it when you look things up.
I'm like, what?
No, that's not what it is. Anyway, so that's good. And then finally, a reminder from our state superintendent of public schools, we have a responsibility to educate immigrants regardless of their status. So that's just a reminder to all of us that that's going on.
All right.
And is still committed to it. Things are not changing yet too much. But there's a lot of questions, and we'll see how they go.
And we are moving into closed session.
All right, I will leave you.
No, I don't want you to leave.
Do you want me to stay?
I want you to stay and
Oh,
hear what we
okay.
found out.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
will
it's,
listen.
Okay,
we spoke to.
goodbye, goodbye.
Well, hang on a minute.
And we need to close.
I know, yeah. I'm thinking about my bed.
I'm thinking about, yeah, I'm just cold today. This isn't quite warm enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of crept in.
Yeah, I keep pulling my arms in like this. Okay. Anybody in the waiting room? Come back in. There's Laura in there. Okay.
And are we resuming? Okay, good. Will we report out that we discussed the formal complaint and have found resolution and have actions to take moving forward?
Inform me of the changes that are needed in the handbooks and policies.
And we have informed Susan of the changes needed in the employees handbook and also in school policies. Thank you very much. And we are adjourned. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, good. I know, that's
And
good.
look, it's not even 8 o'clock yet.
I know.
Yeah.
I got it, I got it.
Right, yeah. There are some positives about having people not.
Not so much talking going on.
Your people just that's their.
All righty. All right.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.